In the year 1932, a study began that involved 600 men in the state of Alabama, USA. This infamous experiment eventually became one of the most terrible studies ever to be conducted on US soil. At the time when the Tuskegee experiment, as it came to be known, began, there was no known cure for syphilis. Syphilis is basically a contagious sexually transmitted infection that can cause serious health problems if not treated. In its advanced stages, it can cause damage to the brain, nerves, eyes, and heart. Now, after being recruited by the promise of free medical care, 600 African American men in Macon County, Alabama, were enrolled in the project, which aimed to study the full progression of the disease. These men were enticed and enrolled in the study with incentives including medical exams, rides to and from the clinics, meals on examination days, and free treatment for minor ailments. Doctors from the US Public Health Service were in charge of the experiment. Over time, these doctors gave the men fake medication just to convince them they were actually being treated. Most of the men with syphilis were uneducated and really thought they were being treated. Now, you may be thinking, if there was no medical treatment for syphilis at the time, then there was nothing the doctors conducting the study could do to help the infected men. But that isn't true. About 15 years into the study, that was in the year 1947, penicillin had become the standard recommended treatment for syphilis, which actually worked. These men could have gotten this treatment. However, the public health service researchers thought they had come too far to stop, and thus the experiment continued. In order to track the disease's full progression, researchers provided no effective care as the men died, went blind or insane, or experienced other severe health problems due to their untreated syphilis. In the mid 1960s, when the infected men had been suffering for more than 30 years, Public Health Service venereal disease investigator in San Francisco named Peter Buxton found out about the Tuskegee study and expressed his concerns to his superiors that it was unethical. In response, Public Health Service officials formed a committee to review the study but ultimately opted to continue it. With the goal of tracking the participants until all had died, autopsies were performed and the project data could be analyzed. Buxton then leaked the story to a reporter friend who passed it on to a fellow reporter, Jean Heller, of the Associated Press. Heller broke the story in July 1972, prompting public outrage and forcing the study to finally shut down. By that time, 28 participants had perished from syphilis, 100 more had passed away from related complications. At least 40 spouses had been diagnosed with it, and the disease had been passed to 19 children at birth. In 1973, Congress held hearings on the Tuskegee experiments, and the following year, the study's surviving participants, along with the heirs of those who died, received a $10 million out-of-court settlement. This is just one of the many stories about the suffering mankind has inflicted under the banner of science. Thanks very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications.